You know when your computer is running super slow, and you open the task manager to find 50 different programs you never opened, all running in the background, eating up your memory. It turns out your brain does that too, only you can't just click End Task. We're talking about the silent, glitchy background processes that make you do weird stuff. So today, we're exploring the strangest bits of mental malware running in the background of your brain. Let's get right into it. Number 6 is the spotlight effect. Imagine this: you're walking into a meeting, a class, or just a moderately crowded coffee shop. You're feeling good. Then, disaster strikes. You trip over nothing. Or you realize you have a massive, unmistakable coffee stain on your bright white shirt. Immediately, you feel 100 pairs of eyes lock onto you. A giant, celestial spotlight clicks on, illuminating you and your catastrophic failure for the entire world to see. You can practically hear the internal monologue of every single person in the room. Wow, look at that clumsy person with the coffee stain. We will now judge them for the rest of their natural life. Except, none of that is real. This intense feeling of being watched and scrutinized is called the spotlight effect. It's a hilarious bug in our social software, where we vastly overestimate how much attention people are paying to our appearance or actions. A group of psychologists at Cornell actually tested this by making students wear a cringeworthy t-shirt with a giant picture of Barry Manilow on it into a room full of their peers. The t-shirt wearers were convinced everyone noticed and was silently mocking their taste in 70s soft rock. In reality, less than half the people in the room even registered the shirt. Your brain is the egocentric star of its own blockbuster movie, so it naturally assumes it's the star of everyone else's movie, too. But everyone else is also busy being the main character of their own story, worrying about their own weird hair or the fact they just called their boss mom. So, that imaginary spotlight you feel isn't real. It's just your brain's vanity projecting a feature film of your failures onto a theater full of people who are all just checking their phones. Number 5 is the Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon, also known as the frequency illusion. You ever learn a new, slightly obscure word like petrichor, the smell of rain on dry earth? You think, neat word, and then for the next 48 hours, you see and hear it everywhere. It's in the book you're reading, a character on TV says it, your friend texts it to you. You start to wonder if you've unlocked a secret cheat code for the universe, or if you're suddenly living in a simulation that just got a petrichor software patch. You're not going crazy. This is your brain's malware at its finest. The phenomenon is a 1-2 punch of cognitive biases. First comes selective attention. When you first learn about something new, a word, a specific model of car, a breed of dog, your brain flags it as novel and important. It's like putting out a little mental sticky note that says, "Hey, pay attention to this now." Suddenly, your brain's pattern recognition software, which is usually ignoring tons of information, starts actively scanning the environment for this new thing. Then, the second punch lands: confirmation bias. Every time you see that word or that car, your brain screams, "See, I told you it was everywhere." It conveniently ignores the thousands of times you didn't see it before and after you learned about it. It's not that the world suddenly decided to become obsessed with the 2008 Toyota Yaris right after you bought one. It's that your brain just installed the Toyota Yaris Detector app and is now sending you push notifications every 5 minutes. Basically, your brain is a terrible scientist that finds one piece of data and declares it an undeniable, cosmic law of the universe. Number 4, the call of the void. You're standing somewhere high up. Maybe it's the balcony of a tall building, the edge of a stunning cliffside viewpoint, or even just a subway platform as the train rushes in. You're perfectly safe. You're not sad, you're not reckless. But then, for a split second, a bizarre thought flickers through your mind. I could jump. It's not a desire, it's just a thought. An intrusive, nonsensical whisper from the back of your brain that makes you instinctively take a step back from the edge. This chilling little mental glitch is known in French as l'appel du vide, or the call of the void. And if you've experienced it, don't worry, you're not secretly harboring a daredevil alter ego. Research suggests this is actually a weirdly positive sign. It's a miscommunication between different parts of your brain. Your brain's survival system, the part that's been fine-tuned over millennia to scream danger. When you're near a deadly drop, sends a massive, high-speed alert signal. Get back, high place, we could fall. This signal is so fast and so primal that your conscious, analytical brain receives it a split second later and gets confused. It tries to make sense of this sudden jolt of panic and asks, why am I panicking? Did I want to jump? So, the thought, I could jump, isn't a command. It's your conscious brain's clumsy interpretation of a lightning-fast survival alarm. It's your brain's way of double-checking its own work. The alarm system is just a little too effective, like a smoke detector that goes off when you make toast, forcing you to think about the fire you definitely weren't about to start. It's a sign that your will to live is functioning perfectly. It just has a flair for the dramatic. Number 3 is phantom vibration syndrome. You know the feeling. You're sitting there minding your own business when you feel it, that distinct, familiar buzz in your pocket or purse. A text, a call. An urgent notification that your virtual crops are withering. You eagerly pull out your phone, ready for that sweet, sweet dopamine hit of social connection, only to be met with a blank, silent screen. Nothing. You, my friend, have just been duped by a ghost in your pocket. This isn't a sign that your phone is haunted, it's a sign that your brain is. This phenomenon is a perfect example of how technology can literally rewire our nervous system. Our brains are incredible learning machines. Over time, we've conditioned ourselves to associate the tiny buzz of a phone with a potential reward. A message from someone we like, an important email, or just a notification that distracts us from the crushing boredom of reality. Your brain becomes so eager for this reward that it gets a little jumpy. It starts misinterpreting other, similar sensations as the real deal. The slight rustle of your clothing, a minor muscle spasm, the gentle friction of your keys against your leg, your brain, on high alert for a digital fix, mistakenly flags these harmless signals as an incoming text. It's a neurological false positive. You've trained your brain so well to anticipate notifications that it has started inventing them, just in case. It's basically the technological equivalent of thinking you hear someone call your name in a crowded room, except what you're hearing is the desperate, silent scream of your own digital dependency. Number 2 is the Tetris Effect. Anyone who's ever spent an entire rainy Saturday glued to a puzzle game knows this one intimately. You play for hours, arranging falling blocks, matching colorful gems, or managing a tiny digital farm. You finally turn it off, stumble to bed, and close your eyes, only to see a ghostly afterimage of falling tetraminos or cascading candies burned onto the back of your eyelids. The game is over, but your brain hasn't gotten the memo. This is called the Tetris Effect, or more broadly, pattern habituation. When you engage in a new, repetitive activity for a prolonged period, your brain goes into overdrive to learn and optimize that pattern. It creates new neural pathways and strengthens them until the task becomes almost automatic. The problem is, this new cognitive software is so eager to run that it doesn't just shut down when you quit the game. It bleeds over into other areas of your consciousness. You might find yourself looking at the boxes on a supermarket shelf and mentally rearranging them for a perfect fit. You might see the cars in a parking lot and imagine them slotting neatly into place. If you've been coding all day, you might dream in lines of Python. Your brain has basically downloaded a new habit loop and is now applying it to everything, whether it's relevant or not. It's like a highly specialized employee who's great at their one job, stacking blocks, and now tries to apply that skill to everything else in the office, including the coffee mugs, the staplers, and the CEO's family photos. It's your brain's efficiency running amok, turning the entire world into one big, unsolvable puzzle. And finally, at number 1, we have your brain's pop-up ads. This is perhaps the most unsettling piece of mental malware on the list. You're in a completely normal situation, living your life, when your brain, out of absolutely nowhere, serves you a thought so horrible and out of character that it takes your breath away. You're holding your friend's precious newborn baby and your mind whispers, "What if you just dropped it?" You're chopping vegetables and you think, "I could stab myself in the hand right now." You're driving and your brain casually suggests, "You could just swerve into that bus." These are called intrusive thoughts, and they are the brain's equivalent of the most vile, unskippable pop-up ads imaginable. And almost everyone gets them. They are not secret desires. They are not warnings about your true nature. They are simply glitches in the thought generation process. Your brain is a content factory that never, ever stops. It churns out thousands of thoughts an hour, and it has absolutely zero quality control. It produces brilliant ideas, mundane reminders, and sometimes the absolute worst, most nonsensical garbage you can imagine. Most of us recognize these garbage thoughts for what they are, random neural noise, and we dismiss them in a microsecond. The thought is like spam email. You see the ridiculous subject line, you don't open it, and you move on. For some, however, the sheer shock of the thought makes them stop and stare. They wonder, why would I think that? Does it mean something? But giving these thoughts attention is like clicking on the pop-up ad. It doesn't mean you want what it's selling. It just tells the algorithm to show you more. These aren't your intentions. They're the junk files, the random error messages, and the chaotic pop-up ads of your consciousness. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.